Have you ever stared at your investment account and felt like you were running a marathon in sand? I know that frustration intimately. The grind of saving for years only to see a balance of $20,000 or $30,000 that feels like a rounding error compared to your $1,000,000 goal. Most people look at those numbers and see a mountain they'll never climb. But here is the strategic reality. Once you hit $100,000, you aren't just 10% of the way to $1,000,000, you are actually 1/3 of the way there. If you want to escape the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle and understand the cold, hard math of wealth, do not skip a second of this. We are breaking down the invisible wall that stops 99% of investors. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the Money Mindset channel, and comment below with the city you're watching from. Pay attention, because failing to understand these numbers is exactly how you end up planning a retirement that consists of eating cat food. Stick around until the end for the tactical hacks that will accelerate your timeline. The linear illusion versus exponential reality. Most investors fail because they worship at the altar of instant everything. We want the instant coffee, the instant credit approval, and the instant wealth. When we don't get it, we quit. I see it every day. People treat wealth building as a linear process, the linear illusion. They believe saving $1 simply gets them $1 closer to their goal. In this mindset, progress feels excruciatingly slow, and most people give up before the magic of the math ever takes flight. The reality is that money is not a static pile. It is a tool. When invested properly, it becomes a workforce that never sleeps. This is the shift from linear saving to exponential growth, where your returns begin to earn their own returns. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. Albert Einstein, attributed. The first $100,000 is the brutal foundation. The first 6 figures represent the heavy lifting phase of your life. Let's look at the numbers. If you invest $100 a week, $400 a month, at a conservative 8% return, it takes approximately 12 years to hit that first $100,000. For over a decade, you are the primary engine of your wealth. During these 12 years, you are in the labor phase. Of that $100,000 balance, roughly $62,000 or 62% comes directly from your own blood, sweat, and tears. Only $38,000 is generated by growth. This is the stage where most people quit because they feel like they are doing all the work while the account barely budges. The hardest part of the entire journey. This is the moment the boulder is at the very top of the hill. It requires maximum effort, discipline, and the refusal to be distracted by immediate gratification. But once you cross this line, the physics of your money changes forever. The $200,000 milestone is the true halfway point. Traditional thinking suggests that at $200,000 you are only 1/5 of the way to $1,000,000. That is dead wrong. Because of the momentum you built in the first 12 years, the journey from $100,000 to $200,000 takes only 6 additional years. By year 18, you hit $200,000, and the math has officially flipped. Your personal contributions now total about $94,000, while investment growth has surged to $106,000. Your capital has officially overtaken your labor. This is why we say that at $200,000, you are mathematically halfway to $1,000,000 in terms of time and momentum. The snowball is no longer being pushed, it is rolling. The final sprint, the compound dominance phase. From year 18 to year 36, you enter what I call the compound dominance phase. This is where the results become addictive. By the 36-year mark, your account hits the $1,000,000 milestone. The final breakdown represents a total shift of capital replacing labor. Total personal contributions around $187,000. Total wealth from growth over $800,000 or 80% plus. At this stage, your portfolio is generating roughly $80,000 a year in returns, nearly the same amount it took you 12 years of manual saving to reach your first milestone. You are now earning a professional salary without lifting a finger. This doesn't require living like a monk. It requires the strategic consciousness to prioritize assets over depreciating liabilities.
Defeating the big three excuses: inflation, crashes, and cash flow. Average investors make excuses. Strategists make adjustments. Let's be blunt. Inflation. The 8% return we use is already inflation adjusted. We use 8% because planning on overly optimistic 10–12% returns is how you end up destitute. Crashes. A rational investor sees a crash as a sale. When the market drops, your $100 weekly contribution buys more shares. Temporary pain leads to long-term gain. If you panic and sell, you're essentially buying high and selling low, the ultimate amateur move. Cash flow. People claim they can't find $100 a week while they bleed cash on things that lose value. The food hack. The average household spends over $600 a month on food. By meal planning and cutting restaurant visits by just 25%, you reclaim $150 a month. That is your foundation right there. The transportation hack. The average car payment is now over $700 for a depreciating liability that loses value the second you drive it off the lot. If you buy a reliable used vehicle and cut that payment in half, you've funded your entire investment goal and still have cash left over. The psychological transformation and the Munger milestone. Crossing $100,000 isn't just a math win, it's a psychological revolution. You stop seeing investing as a sacrifice and start seeing it as the most rewarding game you play. The first $100,000 is the hardest to accumulate. Charlie Munger. This is the opportunity factor. When you have $100,000, you have the walk-away power to take risks that others can't. You can take an equity-based job at a high-growth startup, start that business you've been dreaming about, or jump on a real estate deal. You are no longer betting on the market, you are betting on yourself. Investment strategy, the power of being boring. You don't need to chase moonshot cryptocurrencies or time the market. Strategic wealth is built on boring consistency. Focus on a total stock market index fund or an S&P 500 fund. This isn't just a fund choice, it is a bet on human innovation and productivity. Boring consistency beats exciting speculation every single time. By matching the market instead of trying to beat it, you ensure your snowball keeps rolling without the friction of unforced errors. The path from $0 to $1 million is a 36-year transformation from a laborer to a capitalist. It starts with 12 years of grit, but it leads to a life where your money works harder than you ever could. And if you want to see the true power of this trajectory, the $2 million leap. If you stay the course for just 9 more years after hitting $1 million, you'll hit $2 million by year 45, with your investments generating over $160,000 annually. 36 years from now, will you be thanking your younger self for having the discipline to start today, or will you still be wondering, what if? Start today, stay consistent, and subscribe to Money Mindset to keep your math and your future on track.